Did you know there are countries where Americans are not welcome in 2024? It might seem strange, but yes, there are places on this beautiful planet of ours that are less than welcoming to American travelers. This might be due to a myriad of reasons. Perhaps political tensions have strained relationships, or perhaps there are safety concerns that make travel advisories necessary. In some cases, it might simply be down to strict visa restrictions or policies that make it challenging for Americans to visit. Whatever the reason, these are places where an American passport might not open doors as easily as one might hope. But don't despair, every cloud has a silver lining. Understanding these restrictions can help us navigate the complex world of international travel and relations. So are you ready to dive in and discover these countries? Buckle up, it's going to be an interesting journey. First on our list is North Korea, a country that's been shrouded in mystery and marked by political tension. The relationship between North Korea and the United States has always been complex, to say the least. Over the years, political disagreements and diplomatic standoffs have created a strained atmosphere, leading to travel restrictions for Americans. This is largely due to North Korea's closed-off stance towards the outside world, particularly the West. The government maintains strict control over all aspects of life, including tourism. For Americans, obtaining a visa to North Korea has become nearly impossible. Not to mention, the U.S. State Department strongly discourages any attempt to visit due to serious safety and security risks. These policies and the unpredictable political climate make North Korea a challenging destination for Americans. So if you're American, North Korea might not be on your travel list for the foreseeable future. Next, we have Iran. For decades, the relationship between Iran and the United States has been strained, to say the least. This tension has led to travel restrictions that make it challenging for Americans to explore this historically rich and culturally diverse nation. The U.S. and Iran have been at odds since 1979, following the Iranian Revolution. This political upheaval led to a drastic shift in Iran's foreign policy, particularly towards the U.S. Today, the relationship remains fraught with tension due to ongoing disagreements over nuclear programs, human rights, and regional conflicts. As a result, the U.S. Department of State has issued a Level 4 travel advisory for Iran, advising Americans not to travel there. This is the highest level of advisory and indicates a very high level of danger for American travelers. So if Iran was on your travel bucket list as an American, it might be time to reconsider. Visiting Iran as an American, you might want to rethink that plan. Moving on, we have Syria. This nation's rich tapestry of history is overshadowed by the ongoing conflict that has gripped the country for over a decade. The Syrian civil war, which began in 2011, continues to pose a grave risk to the safety of its citizens and visitors alike. Despite the allure of ancient cities like Damascus and Aleppo, or the enchanting beauty of the Syrian desert, the U.S. Department of State strongly advises against travel to Syria due to terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, and armed conflict. The volatile security environment, coupled with the lack of consular support, renders the country particularly hazardous for Americans. The war has not only decimated Syria's infrastructure, but has also resulted in a humanitarian crisis, leaving millions displaced. With no immediate end to the conflict in sight, the risks outweigh the potential rewards of visiting this historically rich nation. Syria, a country rich in history, but currently unsafe for American travelers. Next on our list is Venezuela. This South American country, known for its stunning landscapes and rich culture, is unfortunately plagued by ongoing political instability. The country has been in a state of turmoil since the controversial presidential elections in 2018, leading to an economic crisis that has seen hyperinflation, food shortages, and civil unrest. This volatile environment has led the U.S. Department of State to issue a Level 4 travel advisory, which is the highest level, meaning do not travel. This warning is in place due to crime, civil unrest, poor health infrastructure, and arbitrary arrest and detention of U.S. citizens. The political climate has made it difficult for the U.S. government to provide emergency services to Americans in Venezuela. And so, despite its natural beauty and vibrant culture, Venezuela is a country in crisis, and not a recommended destination for Americans. Let's not forget Afghanistan. A land with a rich history, Afghanistan has been a hotbed of conflict for decades. The ongoing strife, primarily between government forces and the Taliban, has made this nation a perilous destination. The American government has issued multiple travel warnings, advising against all travel to Afghanistan due to terrorism, crime, civil unrest, kidnapping, and armed conflict. The ever-present threat of violence, coupled with the country's unstable political climate, poses significant risks to foreigners, particularly Americans. From roadside bombings to sudden insurgent attacks, the danger is unpredictable and ever-present. Even the capital city, Kabul, is not immune to these threats, with instances of targeted assassinations and suicide bombings. Moreover, the lack of reliable emergency health care and the prevalence of unexploded landmines further exacerbate the risks, making it a challenging environment even for the most seasoned travelers. Thus, Afghanistan remains a country at war and a no-go zone for American travelers. Next up is Libya. This North African nation, with its vast desert landscapes and ancient ruins, has a rich history that dates back to the time of the Romans. However, in recent years, Libya has been mired in a state of instability and conflict. The situation in Libya is highly volatile, with a power vacuum that has led to the rise of various armed groups vying for control. This unrest has resulted in a lack of security and frequent acts of violence, making it an unsafe destination for travelers, especially Americans. Moreover, the U.S. Department of State has issued a Level 4 travel advisory for Libya due to the risk of kidnapping, armed conflict, and terrorism. American citizens who ignore this advice and choose to travel to Libya are at a significant risk and may find themselves without help in a crisis. Libya, a country with a rich past but a turbulent present, not suitable for American travelers. Moving forward, we have Yemen. A country that has been embroiled in conflict since 2015, Yemen is a landscape of both natural beauty and man-made tragedy. Its rich history and cultural heritage are often overshadowed by the ongoing civil war, which has resulted in a severe humanitarian crisis. This conflict, coupled with terrorism threats, has made the country particularly unsafe for foreigners, especially Americans. The United States government has issued strong advisories against traveling to Yemen, citing threats of kidnapping, armed conflict, and civil unrest. In recent years, several Americans have been detained or kidnapped, leading to a heightened sense of danger. Given these circumstances, Americans are strongly advised to avoid travel to Yemen until the situation improves. The beauty of Yemen's landscape and culture is undeniable, but the current state of affairs makes it a perilous destination. Yemen, a country on the brink and a place Americans are advised not to visit. Next, we have Somalia. This East African nation, known for its beautiful coastline and rich history, unfortunately has a significant security issue that makes it a perilous destination for Americans. The situation in Somalia has been unstable for years, with political instability and conflict making it a hotbed for violence. The primary concern for American travelers is the high threat of terrorist attacks. Groups such as Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda affiliate, pose a serious risk, carrying out regular attacks against government, military, and civilian targets. Kidnapping is another significant concern, with foreign nationals often targeted for ransom. In addition, piracy off the coast of Somalia has been a persistent problem, making maritime travel particularly dangerous. Despite international efforts to curb these activities, the threat remains. The U.S. government strongly advises against all travel to Somalia due to these threats. The ability to provide consular support to U.S. citizens is extremely limited in this region. Somalia, a country with a high threat level, is not a safe destination for Americans. Last but not least, Iraq. This Middle Eastern nation, rich in history and culture, continues to grapple with the aftermath of numerous conflicts, making it a precarious destination for American travelers in 2024. Iraq's ongoing instability stems from a myriad of factors, including sectarian divisions, economic woes, and the persistent threat of terrorism. The U.S. Department of State has issued a Level 4 travel advisory for Iraq, urging American citizens to avoid all travel due to the high risk of violence and kidnapping. Furthermore, diplomatic relations between Iraq and the United States remain strained, adding another layer of complexity for American travelers. Despite these challenges, it's important to remember that Iraq is a country of resilience and beauty, with a rich heritage that predates civilization. Its people, known for their hospitality, are tirelessly working towards stability and peace. Iraq, a country still recovering from conflict and not yet ready to welcome American tourists. So there you have it. We've journeyed through 10 countries where, for various reasons, Americans might find a less than warm welcome in 2024. From political tensions and ongoing conflicts to economic issues and diplomatic disputes, these countries pose certain challenges for American travelers. North Korea, Iran, Syria, Venezuela, Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, Somalia, and Iraq each hold their unique set of complexities. However, it's essential to remember that these circumstances are not permanent, and changes can occur. The global landscape is ever evolving, and what holds true today may not necessarily be the case in the future. And let's not forget that our planet is teeming with countless other destinations, each with their unique cultures, landscapes, and experiences, eagerly waiting to be explored. So, while some doors might be currently less open, many more are wide open, inviting you in with open arms. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, the world is a vast place with plenty of other destinations waiting for you.